Say how y'all doing today? How y'all doing? I am your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, the best film writer and director in St. Louis. Facts, award-winning published author, activist, journalist, actor, business owner, Lacey G. Souldier Turner. And today I have a special guest with me. He's Norway's first international celebrity. He's fragrance, beauty, and handbag designer, motivational speaker, talking to Hollywood about turning his story into a screenplay. He works with many organizations, giving back to the community. We got the wonderful, talented, amazing Geir Ness. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you so much. Very nice to be on the program.
It's great, man. It's great to have you. So my first question to you, Geir Ness.
Yes.
What made you want to get into creating fragrances? Because I saw somewhere where you said you was picking wild flowers and all that type of stuff. So what made you want to get into creating fragrances?
Well, what happened was that I worked for some other companies, did it, PR, marketing, and so forth. And people come up to me all the time and ask me where I was from. And when I said Norway, they said to me, doesn't Norway have their own fragrance? And I found out that we never did. So I said to myself, maybe I should do some research and do this myself, and that's what happened. That's how I started the whole thing.
Okay, and I saw you found the chemist, you said, and he told you to get ingredients that you like. So how did you come about meeting this chemist?
So I was lucky enough to work with some big fragrance houses. And one time there was like a luncheon thing, and I was sitting next to this perfumer that was retired, and I told him that I was thinking about creating my own fragrance, but I asked him, what do I need to do? And he was from France, and he said, find the ingredients that you like. It's very important that it means something to you and all that. So the first thing that came to my mind were Norwegian wildflowers, because when I was a little boy, my mom will take me up to those mountains every spring and summer. And I remember the scent up there was such a beautiful, fresh, clean scent. So that's what I'm trying to capture, in the scent. So that's how I come up with the idea of doing this, and finding those ingredients that meant something for me. And I wanted something that, remind me about my childhood. So I was lucky, because I love a lot of people have stories about the childhood that wasn't so great, but I was lucky to have a mom that really loved me and took me out in the nature of Norway. So I know I was very blessed with that. And I wanted to take all those experience with me into the fragrance.
Okay. And I saw that you created the fragrance Lila. Could you tell us about how you came about doing that name?
Yeah, so because of my mom means so much to me, and what she did, my whole upbringing, she was always there. So I wanted a name that meant something to me. So what I did, I copied my mom's signature without her knowing it, and I still screened her name on the bottle, and I gave it to her for Mother's Day. So Lila is my mom's name. And as I tell people, since I put my mom's name on the bottle, I had to take really good care of it too. So it means a lot to me. It's not just to create something, but also because of her. And I think that's one of the reasons that it's been very successful, because I created it and it means something to me. It wasn't created for other reasons, that from love and from something experienced from my childhood. And I'm always there. I do a lot of promotion around the world, and I'm meeting a lot of people. And now I'm meeting people that told me, oh, I named my daughter after your perfume, because that's how I met my husband. That kind of stories.
Nice. So look, you need to make a fragrance called Lacey by Geir Ness.
Yes, exactly.
Lacey by Geir Ness.
Exactly. Lacey.
Yeah. Yes. So I saw, you had a dream and $1,000, and you wanted to go out to Los Angeles and become an actor. So what made you want to chase that dream right there?
So what happened was, I in Norway, I had a small little bit part in a sitcom in Norway. And I played like a clumsy waiter, and it was easy for me because I'm a little clumsy sometimes. So that was a good part for me. Then that ended, that was just a small little part on TV. And then I ended up being a tour guide in Spain for a couple of years. And I was always into, dancing and singing and all that. So I produced and directed a cabaret shows in Spain for a lot of tourists from Norway, Sweden, Denmark, some from Germany. And I loved it. And one day I was doing this show and I met this director from Sweden. And he told me that, oh, you're so talented, you're funny, you should do more with your craft. So I thought about it, and I ended up actually coming to LA to study producing, acting, and so forth. And I did that for a couple of years. And while I was doing that, I needed money. So a friend of mine got me a job in Los Angeles in a department stores. Mm. And I met with the buyers, and the buyers said, we love your fragrance, but you have no money, no this and that, and so that's what happened, that I got into a department store, and the buyer was telling me that we love your fragrance, but we can take it in on consignment and see how much you sell in 3 months. And that was the day before Mother's Day, so they took in I think there was 100 bottles to see how much they're going to sell for those 3 months. So I told myself I had to be creative. So what I did.
Hold on, I want to get into that. I want to set that up right there. So, like I was read, you said in the business world, few survive, and many people can't tell you that you're going to. They tell you that you're not going to succeed. So you had a $5 suit, a red carpet you found in the trash, and you said a photographer who cannot afford even film. So can you tell my viewers, because I think this is an amazing story about the Nordstrom story.
Yes. So what happened was, you said I had no money or anything, so I had to be creative. So what I did, I went to a garage sale, as you said, and I got a suit for $5. And at the garage sale, there was a red carpet laying there, red carpet. So I said, can I get that? Sure. So I got the red carpet and the suit for $5. And I called up a friend of mine in acting class that was a photographer. And I said, John, can you come down and take a picture of me at Nordstrom's on Saturday? And he said, Geir, I would love to, but I have no film in the camera. This is 20 years ago, before cell phone. So people have to remember there was not a cell phone you can do that with.
They was like, get the iPhone.
Exactly. So he came down, and he had no film in his camera. I said, nobody knows. Just take and flash away and pretend I'm a big celebrity. And I got some of my friends coming down and said, oh my God, here he is. I can't believe that he's in this store and blah, 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 making a big bust out of it. And so people started to line up, I was staying there with my red carpet, my suit from garage sale. And I had a picture of myself in the background, behind me, and my bottles, and people started to line up, and all of a sudden I had like this huge line of people, and and next to me was all this beautiful of the fragrances set up, and I was there in the corner, but people said, oh my God, here must be something special, the red carpet and the whole thing. So in 1 hour I sold out all the bottles, and I had a lot of people on a waiting list. And then Nordstrom called me up the following Monday and said, what happened here? We can't believe it. You know what I mean? It was like, I said, yeah, well, even people in the waiting list. And that's how it started, and that's how I got into Nordstrom's. And from there, that's another story, but it was amazing. And it shows you, Lacey, that if you believe in yourself, not just believe, but you have to believe it in, and not, listen to all this negativity around, and believe in what you have. You can do it, because I have no money. I went back that next weekend and sold my clothes in garage sale to make rent. I have nothing, and build myself up. But it's easy to see, oh, poor me and this and that. But you know what? We all can do it. And I come from nothing. I come from no money. So you know what I mean? You'll have yourself. And I say to people, regardless of your age, some people think you come to a certain age and you're not, oh, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that. People always make excuses for themselves that they can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I'm trying to tell people. There is no time limit for anything. People think it is, because when you're over 40 or 50, then nothing will happen anymore, and that it's not true with anything. And I've seen so many examples of that I know people even in Norway, and actors been famous over 50, 60, but people think so they can't do anything, because that's what you're supposed to think. So I try to tell people to think outside the box.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I believe in that dream also. Like you said, people make a lot of excuses for themselves, but there is no excuses. If a person like you can do it, everybody can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So Geir Ness, since you so popular and so amazing, loan me $1 million. I'm just playing, unless you're gonna loan it to me. Not just playing. But I also heard that your suit was itching.
Yeah, so I didn't come to that point. So while I was staying, I felt something itching inside me. You know what I mean, like inside my suit. But I was like, I didn't know what it was. But then when I came out of Nordstrom's, there was like, you know, ants and stuff scrambling around. Because I couldn't afford to dry clean it before I put it on. You know. So yeah, there was a lot of fun stuff that happens. And I had a $600 car. You know, those old Renault Le Car was the name of the car. Mm-hmm. And I parked that several blocks away so nobody could see my car because so I had to like get that. And then I was a seat filler in this talk show. So after Nordstrom that day, I jumped, you know, back to my car, took the suit off that was, you know, ants in it, put on another shirt, and I went to applaud and be a seat filler to get $15 for a day, you know, doing that afterwards. So, oh man, I know what it takes.
So, Geir Ness, can you give the people some tips or secrets of how to succeed in business as an entrepreneur? Because, you know, everybody look at that as like, oh, I'm gonna fail at that. It's not gonna work for me. So can you give them secrets or tips?
I think the secret with anything is, first of all, to find a thing that you are passionate about, you know, something that you like doing. And when you find that niche and okay, I want to do whatever that is that you wanted to create, you have to do some research first and find out, you know, the market and everything. And when you do that, you have to just go for it and believing in yourself. But you don't have to spend a lot of money. A lot of people think that you need all this money to do things. And, you know, if you want to start, let's see, a podcast or whatever that is, you have to be smart and have people around you that you trust, and it's good people, because there are always people around you that are negative, that put you down. So try to get rid of all that negativity and surround yourself with good people and have a goal. The goal is important, even if you don't achieve exactly that goal, but have a goal and work towards that goal. And something can happen in between, so maybe it will change this, but it's important to focus. Focus is number one in business. If you know, and not try to do everything. Like when I started to do a little better, people say, oh, you should come out with another fragrance, another this, another that. No. I want to say about one thing. I don't want to do all this. People say, oh, come out with an underwear, come out with this. And I did, but you know, no, just concentrate and focus. And little by little, it takes some time. Sometimes it will go down a little bit, but then just believe in it and it will go up again. And that's how you see most successful people can tell you all these stories, how they started with craziness and that, but they believed in yourself and they were strong and they become. I mean, you can see Bill Gates didn't even finish, you know, college, right?
Yeah,
and become one of the richest people in the world. So it's like, you don't have to have all this that people think. You can just, you have believe in yourself. And I believe if you're a good person and believe in it, you can do it. I mean, it's just, there's so many ways to make money and make a business today. Some people work on, you know, other people's money, you know, which I could never do, you know, be on Wall Street and do all that. I just believe, and also for me, I've been lucky, Lacey, because now I can try to give back. I work with, you know, a lot of organizations, especially animal shelters. It's very close to my heart. So I do a lot of stuff with the animals. And that's one thing that I like. And when you do that, you know, it becomes so much easier for yourself when you feel like you're doing something good here on Earth. And I think we all are here for a reason. And I feel, for me, it's trying to help animals and also people, you know, like I worked with handicapped children and abused children and all that. I think it's important that we do something and give something back too, you know, and not just, it's not about us all the time. It's about other people.
Definitely. I like that about you. A lot of people, they make it and be like, forget the community, forget everybody. But I love how you are part of all these different organizations and giving back, because we need that.
Oh, thank you.
Can you, I found this was interesting. Can you tell me about the fragrance Frozen in a Bottle? I really like that name.
Yeah. So what happened was Disney as you probably know, had a very successful movies, I should say, called Frozen. And that movie is an animation, and that take parts, supposed to be in Norway. And it's about the Ice Princess and the sisters and the reindeer and the snowman and the whole thing. But it's interesting about that story, it's that it's the girls that are the strongest. You know what I mean? It's not like the prince. So I think that's part of the story which I really enjoyed, and also because it's part of Norway, it's the ice and it's the glacier and the whole thing. So when I spoke with Disney to create this fragrance, we wanted to be a scent that you got all those elements into the bottle. And I worked on it for several years. And it was just while the movie was going on, it was a limited edition. And that's why we called it Frozen in a bottle. So you can feel, when you smell it, you feel like this is what it really happened. That's what's my thought about that. People will kind of like get the scent that this is how Norway smells and everything. So when the fragrance sold out and the movie was finished, I decided to come up with a new fragrance that I worked on that will have also the same kind of appeal, clean, fresh from the mountains. So I named that Norwegian Snow, or it's called Norsk Snø. And I actually have the bottle right here, so you can see it. It's in Norwegian. Norsk Snø means Norwegian snow. And I just launched that with Disney, and it will be out in Norway this fall as well. So I'm doing a big launch in Norway in November.
So look at you, Geir Ness. You just doing everything.
Nothing is stopping me.
So that even leads me to my next question. How do you continue to evolve and develop new products that appeal to the consumer? Because it seems like that'll be a hard thing to do, but it seems like you've been acing it every time.
Well, so the most important thing is to find your base first. So when I started Lila, I was out all the time myself, do promotion. First of all, I couldn't afford to hire anybody in the beginning, so I only had gear, right? So then you meet people on a different level. You meet them and they you talk to them, and they buy your product, they like it, and they will buy it again. They met you, so they're telling their friends, oh, I met the creator, from Norway, and oh wow, and they're buying it. So I have built up this base, you should say, like I don't know what you call it. It's almost like a not a cult kind of thing, but the people, and then little by little, I've been building it up in a way that you have the base and they are with you, regardless. And that's one of the other reasons that I've been doing well with it now, because people buying the product again and again and again. It's not just something you buy the first time because a celebrity is coming up with something. You know what I mean? It's, oh my God, I had to have that because this and this celebrity has a new fragrance out, and then maybe the fragrance is not that great or whatever, and bye-bye. But I try to put a lot of energy and myself into the quality of the oil. So the fragrance is, I believe, is the best fragrance in the world. And that's how I present it when I'm out there in the stores, or, I go to Nordstrom or Disney or whatever else I am. I believe in it. And also I have now showed, if you go and Google my name and everything and say, reviews about my fragrance, you can tell people, saying, as I told you earlier, oh my God, I named my daughter. And one guy came up to me in Disney, Lacey, this is a fun story. He came up to me in Disney and he said to me, Geir, I want to tell you a story. I said, okay. And he said to me, I was in this bank to pay my bills, and it was packed with people, but I smelled somebody behind me that smelled so good. So I turned around and I talked to this woman that was wearing a fragrance, and we started to talk about Norway and the whole thing, and they exchanged phone numbers in the bank, and they ending up, so she called him a couple of weeks later. They went up on a date. They actually ending up getting engaged. They got married.
Wow.
And they got a little girl. They named it after my fragrance. They came in with a girl. When I was there, taking picture with me and the little girl. You know what I mean? And
wow.
So with this fragrance, you do more than just selling something. You create like a family even. Wow. And and so it amazes to me. And that's what I love still doing this. And I come up with new ideas because these people telling me how much this fragrance means to them. And also with my new fragrance Snow now, that I people that used to wear the frozen in a bottle, now they said, oh my God, this one is even, you know, it's different and it's unique to Snow, and it reminds them about, you know, this freshness, the cleanness, and they think that they're still up in the mountains of Norway when they wear the fragrance. So that's what I want. And I like to be out there myself, talking to people, get feedback. And that's how I, you know, come up with new ideas, because I'm listening to what people really want.
Wow. Yeah, I heard that, man. Listen, y'all better get a Geir Ness fragrance. Y'all can get married, get corporate jobs, all of that up in this piece.
That's right.
A great story. So I also saw that you was on Good Morning Norway, which is like equivalent to Good Morning America here, which is something very big. So it's featured on there as a guest. How was that experience? Did you get excited?
Yeah, I get excited, and again, I love to tell stories. How, you know, the one story I told you about the suit, that Nordstrom and all that, and also for people to get motivated and believe that they can do things. Because one thing is for me that, of course, you like people to buy your fragrance and all that, but also the other part is the story, and something, a positive, happy story that you can see that you can do something. You can still be a nice person and make it happen. You don't have to be, you know, all about the money. And to be honest with you, Lacey, I never thought about in the beginning how much money I'm going to make. For me, it was just fun to doing it, and money will come. You know, if you believe the product, it's not all about, okay, how much you sold today, how much you know what I mean? It's all this, and it will come to you. If you're so concentrated about just the money part, I think you're losing out of a lot of other things that you can do. So of course we're going to make money to pay our bills and everything, but if you only concentrate about that, I think the rest it's won't happen, to be honest with you.
Facts. And I saw that you was talking to Hollywood about creating a screenplay about your life story. Is that still in the works?
It's still in the work. It's been on hold for a while, but it's basically the story how all the craziness that I have been doing since I started the fragrance and up till today. And I have a friend of mine that used to work for Disney, that we have been working together for a while, and there will be obviously a comedy, and we're not sure now if it's going to be for TV or a movie, but I think we turn more into a movie, because it's going to be, you know, it makes more sense actually to do that than so it'll be fun to see who's going to play me.
All right. I was going to say, Geir Ness says, man, you look like twins. You should let me be the lead actor. You know, you see the resemblance? No. But I want to ask you, so what made you want to become a motivational speaker?
Well, it was basically because I felt that a lot of people out there didn't believe. I read so much online that people starting their business is so hard, and you know, and they all get discouraged because they can't do anything, and also not just come up with your own company, but also out there, people, you know, I heard almost 60,000 thoughts during the day, and 80% of that is negative thoughts. You know, so I'm trying to bring that and the other way, and say, like, you know, you're breathing in positivity, and you inhale, and you breathe out the negativity. Try it when you wake up. I always have either oh, what a beautiful morning, or I have with Louis Armstrong, you know, what a wonderful world. That's what I have that in my my phone. So when I wake up to those songs. So immediately it's something positive and happy, you know, and I'm thanking everything. Every time I drink a bottle of water, I'm thanking, you know, God, thank you for having the water here. I try to, everything that I do, I try to think about not that what I don't have, but what I have. I think we concentrate so much about all this negativity and things. Oh my God, I have to do this, no, I have to do that, you know, instead of like, I'm blessed that I'm here and I can do it. And if you change your mindset for that, that's why I like to be a motivated speaker, like to talk about the positivity that we already have and not what we don't have. And there's so many examples on that have been helping me, because what I'm doing today and still doing it, I wouldn't be able to do that if I have all these negativity thoughts and you know. So we all feel that way sometimes, but snap out of it, you know, and go ahead with something good, you know. Instead of like, I don't have the money to pay this, where can I get the money? Instead of like, the money will come, and then all of a sudden it will be there. It's in front of us. But if you constantly have these negative thoughts, I feel that we stand still and things go the other way. And it's the same thing with illness. You know, I mean, I have one of my very best friend now, he got cancer for the third time. And he is also a person that is so positive and so, this will be fine. You know, it's lymphoma, and we talk every day, and he's just like, yeah, you know, he lost all his hair and everything, but it will be fine. And he did it before, and it was okay. And he's the same way. And we talk, you know, and we're laughing and we're talking and be positive energy instead of like, oh my God, this will never happen. So I try to get people believe in what they have, even if there's something bad happened right now, you know, things will be better if you believe in it. I think 50% is up here. Yes. And you can choose being that, or you can choose the other way. So I choose to be happy, positive, and I want other people with me and feeling it, and then things will be better. Relationship wise, whatever it is, you know, we all have a relationship, or it can be good and bad, you know. And if it's bad, then, you know, you snap out of it. Don't stay in it. Just go forward. And that's what I'm trying to help people with that.
See, Geir Ness, you remind me, you like my brother from another mother. I think I do the same. I think the same way you think. I'm always positive and I thank God for everything. So,
I can tell you are that person, you know, like exactly. Positive, you're happy, you know, you're laughing every great smile.
All the time. Thank you. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to create their own fragrance, and how to get started and all that?
Well, if you want to create your own fragrance, first of all, as I said in the beginning, you have to know what kind of scent that you are looking into, you know, if it's going to be, and what's mean to you, you know what I mean? And also find out what the public wants, you know what I mean? Maybe not just what you want, but you have to listen to the public, especially fragrance today. It's very personal, right? And so if you find out first, okay, this is what people, if you want some more, maybe with roses or flowery, or if you want more like a more woodsy scent, you know, and all that. And then you have to contact one fragrance house. There are some fragrance houses only taking a huge order. You have to do a minimum of thousands of orders, or there's smaller one that do fragrances that do less, and then you contact them, and then you will sit down with their perfumer and come up with something. So it just depends of just looking online and see what small fragrance houses, or I don't know right now, because it's 20 years since I started, you know, so things have changed a lot. So I'm working with the same perfume house, which is a very big one that usually don't take in smaller, but it's a lot of ones that do that. So if you find out what kind of scent I want, and you can contact that perfume house, and there are several ones in the United States, there are in California, there are on the East Coast, and you can contact them, and then hopefully you can sit down and set up a meeting, and they will probably see that you have some kind of a budget or something, you know, to start with. So it's important that you have that first, and maybe if you can come up with some money first or you have friends that you come up with a company, you come up with, you know, and from there you come up with, this is the idea that I have, and now I need to get it in. And then you can start a website, you know, with that, and maybe do a blog, stuff like that in the beginning to get the name out, you know, but you should definitely come up with a concept before you do anything. And then that way, you know, when you talk to this perfume house, this is kind of what I want. And we have this company and I want to go out, and they will probably ask, so where are you going to sell it, or what are you going to do? Or, you know, and then you come up and you set an appointment and you meet with them, and they can try to help you to create the scent for you, you know. I did mostly myself, you know, with the perfumer, but today, I mean, you can have people doing it for you, and you can just tell them, this is kind of a scent that I wanted. So, you know, it's a different way to do it, but you definitely have a concept first, and then you go into, you know, created it with, you know, with the perfumer.
And they can get, and y'all can do like your Ness, get a $20 suit this time. I know it's not $5 no more. It's up now. $20 suit and the red carpet.
Absolutely. You know what? You got it. I mean, the main thing is, Lacey, you got to think outside the box.
Oh, yes, I loved it.
And with anything, you can be, oh, it has to be this. No, it doesn't have to be any of that. You know.
Facts. Yes.
And that's what I realized, you know, very quickly, that I just have and I only had myself. I didn't have any money. I only had Geir Ness, so I didn't have any choice. And I'm actually glad that I started that way. And you appreciate things differently too. Than you just have, here's $1 million, you know, enjoy, right? So yeah.
Hey, look, Geir Ness, I did the same thing. So I write and direct movies. So I wanted to rent out a movie theater, and I have no money at the time. This was some years ago. So I went to the theater and I asked them how much would it cost. They gave me a price. I think it was at the time $450 to rent out the theater. So I said, okay. So I went and printed my own tickets and went out and sold all the tickets and paid for the theater.
Wow.
With the ticket money from the customers. So see, you got to think outside the box.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I didn't have to use my own money.
I love that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So on your journey, what would you say has been your greatest challenge?
The greatest challenge has probably been, you know, you're competing with some of the biggest, obviously, names in the world, right? And you are small and you don't have the money to pay for all the stuff. So the biggest challenge for me has probably been, in the beginning at least, and it still and always will be, that you don't have the budget and the money to be huge, right? I mean, like if you wanted to compete, you have to put money into it, and that's how the business is, you know. So the biggest challenge is actually to get to that point that you are, you know, you can be seen more, you know, be out there. But at the same time, I have built it, it's a word of mouth that I build up. So it's stronger actually than doing that. But the biggest challenge is, especially in the beginning, that people want to talk to you, to see you, you know what I mean? Because you are nobody, you know, in their eyes. I mean, it's like, you know, they want to see these big brands, you know what I mean? You are nobody, you know, we can't make money on you. We want to make the big money on these people that are paying us. So you are on the sideline. And that's why I used myself much more, you know, and I didn't have money to pay independent contractor that can come in and spray the perfume, and you know what I mean, in the beginning. I only had me. So that's the biggest challenge, probably, is the money to use for those things. But at the same time, it's good to not spending the money if you have yourself, and if you are good at selling, because a lot of people that create something are good at that, but not good at selling, you know. But I was lucky that I had both, you know, I can sell and I can do it. So I had, you know, me doing everything.
Yes.
And now I have people working for me.
Say, I'm the boss now. I'm the big kahuna.
Yeah, well, but at that time I had only myself. So that's whatever you have, right? You had you, and you started too, right? So
yes,
we have ourselves. And it's good to know that we have ourselves always.
Yes, always. Yes.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been your greatest accomplishment?
Well, the greatest accomplishment is probably to create something from nothing and make it happen. And I think for me, it's been, since I now got my name out more, people listen to you more. And I can also talk, you know, like I do with the animal shelters and all that. I can be a person that can do something positive for the community, for, you know, people around you. So the accomplishment for me, I mean, work-wise, if you talk about just the fragrance that I created, the biggest accomplishments are probably to get the name out there and have people name their daughter after my perfume, you know. That's probably the biggest, you know. And also all the people that I meet and talk to them as we talk now, you and I, because people come to me all the time and ask me how to create something and how I can stay so positive and stay in shape when I travel 300 days a year. You know, I talk about that too, you know, what I'm doing, you know. That's also one of the, when I do the motivation speaking stuff, I talk about how to take care of yourself as a person too, not just selling, but also, you know, eating and drinking water and the whole thing, you know. Because it's a little bit of everything, you know, to feel good about yourself. Because sometimes if you don't feel good about yourself, it's hard for other people to feel good about you. So regardless of, right? So
Mhm.
for me, doing all this, I need to stay in a shape for me to be able to travel so much. And people come up to me, and especially with the fragrance, you know, I have a skincare line and I have all that. They're looking at you as the person that's selling this. And if you look a certain way, they believe in you more than you if you don't. You know what I mean? If I just
Mhm.
let go, and I like to take care of myself. My dad was a ski trainer, so I trained my whole life. It's part of me. So yeah.
Okay. Do you drink purified water or spring water?
I do both, but I usually buy bottle on a bottle, you know, and whatever bottle I can find. I don't think that there's so much difference. You read about it, it's different that, and the Fiji water is supposed to be better than this water. But
Yeah.
I think, you know, water is water for me. I usually buy them. And I have them also, if I drive in my car, I always have them with me, you know.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
Geir Ness. So let the people know where they can find your fragrances, where they can find you at.
Yeah, well, my is, if you want to find me, you can find me on Facebook, you know, Geir Ness, GeirNess, or I'm on Instagram. I have on Twitter. You can find me on my website, geirness.com. Nordstrom department stores, Disney World, Disneyland. If you go to Disney World in Epcot, I actually going to be there on Thanksgiving week. So if any of your listener are going to be there in Orlando area, I will be in Disney World that whole week, you know, at Epcot and in Norway Pavilion, signing bottles and be there and having fun. Other than that, I will be there's probably some Nordstrom stores. But the best way is to find me on my website and just contact me on my website, probably GeirNess.com. That would be the best way. And, you know, in my line, we haven't talked about everything, but I have a men's fragrance, I have the women's, I have skincare, I have gift sets for the holidays, for Christmas. So I have everything on my website as well. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Geir Ness. My last question that I love to ask all my guests.
Yes.
When it is all said and done and you are long gone from this earth, what is it that you want the people to know about Geir Ness?
I wanted to think about that I made a difference for people that had a dream, or, you know, that I made a difference in the world, not just for my fragrance, but more for what I do for people. And that's important to me because, and the animals, of course, that I did something from my success with my fragrances, that I did something also for other people that is not as fortunate, you know what I mean? For people that doesn't have what I have. I understand that not everybody is, and I also know that I'm lucky that I was born in Norway. I'm Norwegian, right? That's a benefit for people. Not everybody has that. And I have all my friends that are from different part of the world, and I know what they're going through. So I want people to know me or remember me as a person that care about other people and animals, and not just being fabulous.
Nice. All right. And make sure y'all stay tuned for his next fragrance, Lacey by Geir Ness.
That's right.
It's coming out. Now, but I want to thank you, Geir Ness, for giving me this time. Geir Ness, can I please have some samples? I want to promote it on my podcast.
I will. Absolutely.
Send me some samples. I'm gonna be in contact with you. I'm gonna hit you up.
Absolutely.
I need some samples, and I'm gonna promote it on my podcast also.
You will, for sure. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoy learning about you. I know my viewers gonna love learning and hearing your story. And you, like I said, you remind me of me. You're so positive thinking, laughing, and everything. So I love that. So I know you got to get out of here, but I appreciate you, and I will be in touch. I'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. Okay?
All right, you too. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.